Hello, the topic for the explanation that I have chosen is human physiology and the chapter is digestion and absorption. So starting with the word digestion itself, that what is basically digested and what is the need of digestion. So what is digested? It is the food that we take inside our body. What is the food? It is a very basic requirement for all living organisms, and this food gives us energy, and second, it will provide the organic materials for the growth and the repair of the tissue. So all the functions that occurs on our human body is provided by the energy, and this energy is from the food that we take inside our body, right? So this food consists of major components like carbohydrates, proteins and fats, and these are majorly required by our body, and our body also requires vitamins and minerals which are present in the food, right? So moving forward, that what is the need of digestion? The problem here is the food we take inside consists of complex big macromolecules, and these macromolecules are not able to be utilized by our human body, so it needs to be broken down into simple substances. So this process where there is a big complex macromolecules present in our food are broken down into simple absorbable form is known as the digestion. So moving forward to the human digestive system. This human digestive system consists of alimentary canal and the associated glands. So what I'll be focusing about is the digestive glands, which are the pancreas, liver and the salivary gland. And before moving to that, I would like to give an overview about the alimentary canal, what it consists of. So starting with it, that firstly there is an anterior opening, that anterior means the front side. So there is an anterior opening, that is the mouth. Then it will proceed forward. There will be the oral or the buccal cavity, which will consist of teeth and the muscular tongue. Moving forward, there will be pharynx. Then the esophagus, which will open into the trachea and pharynx. And then moving forward, there will be the esophagus, which will extend posteriorly, that is from the back side, through the neck, thorax and the diaphragm, and it will finally lead to the stomach. So this whole was the overview of the alimentary canal. Now I would like to give the introduction or the explanation on the first digestive gland, that is the salivary gland. Now, as the name suggests, that the salivary gland, it was going to secrete the salivary juice or the saliva into the buccal cavity. Now, who will secrete? Which organ will secrete? Which gland will secrete? There are three major pairs of the salivary gland. First is the parotid, that is the cheek. Second is the lower jaw, that is the submaxillary or submandibular. And third is the lower tongue, that is the sublingual. So these three are the pairs of the salivary gland which are going to secrete the salivary juice or the saliva in the buccal cavity. Moving forward to the liver. Now liver is it is the largest gland of the human body, and its weight is about 1.2 to 1.5 gram in an adult human. Now there is two lobes in the liver, and these two lobes consist of many lobules which are known as the hepatic lobules. The hepatic the hepatic cells are also there which form the liver. So which are the cells that form the liver? Those are the hepatic cells. Cells present in the liver are the hepatic cells. Now firstly, talking about the lobule, that these lobules are covered by Gilson's capsule. What is Gilson's capsule? It is nothing but a thin connective tissue sheath, right? Now moving to the gallbladder and the bile juice. Now firstly, the hepatic cells are going to secrete the bile juice, and it is not going to secrete directly into the blood, but it will be secreted into a duct which is known as the hepatic duct. Now the hepatic cells which are there are the structural and functional unit of the liver. Hepatic cells, or else we can also call as the hepatic lobules, right? Now moving forward, that we have two ducts here. First is the cystic duct, and second is the bile duct, right? So second is the hepatic duct. So the first cystic duct is of the gallbladder, and second hepatic duct is of the liver. So when these two ducts form, commonly is known as the common bile duct. So this information was about the liver. Now moving forward to the pancreas. Now this pancreas is an elongated organ, and it is situated between the U-shaped duodenum. Now what is duodenum? As we all know that we have small intestine, and in the small intestine we have three regions of it, that is the duodenum, ileum and jejunum. So this first region, that is the duodenum, which is of a U-shaped, and between that we have the pancreas situated. Now this pancreas has two main functions, two portion of the functions. That is, first is the exocrine and second is the endocrine. Now what is exocrine? Exocrine is nothing but that whatever products are going to be released from a gland or something, it is going to release into the duct. It is going to be released through a vessel. But in the endocrine, it is going to be released directly into the blood. For example, here the pancreas exocrine function. Here pancreas exocrine function is to release the alkaline pancreatic juice, which will contain many enzymes, and these enzymes will have many roles in it. So this exocrine pancreas function will be excretion of the secretion of the alkaline pancreatic juice, which will contain the enzymes. And secondly, we have the endocrine pancreas function, which is going to release many hormones, insulin and glucagon. So these are the three digestive glands, that is the salivary gland, pancreas and the liver. Thank you.